Hello, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. So today's episode, I'm going to be doing a movie review. So if you haven't heard of the movie Spin, you're in for a treat. But don't listen to this video if you want to watch the movie and don't want spoilers, because I'm going to spoil it for you. So Spin is a movie currently on Disney Plus. It was released in 2021. I'm now in 2023 when I'm recording this live for you. And Spin is an absolutely amazing, delightful movie. Not every bit of the film's delightful because, of course, there's got to be some conflict in it, but I absolutely loved it. And I particularly loved the film because it was set around an Indian family. If you follow me on this channel for some time, you'll know that I really like Indian guys. I think I've had or have an Indian soulmate from a past life, and I've been searching for him since 2014 and not found him yet in this life. But I love Bollywood movies, I love Bollywood parties, and I love Bollywood music as well. So in this film, it's centered around a family that's quite conservative, and Rohan is the name of the boy in it, and there is a girl called Ria. Now, Ria is absolutely incredible person. I really, really loved her. She's amazing. And she's a 15-year-old girl in the movie. So, yeah. And so what happens is she lost her mother like 8 years ago. 8 years ago, or I think it's 8 years ago when she was 8. Maybe I need to check that again. But anyway, she lost her mother, and Rowan is her brother. Her dad is Arvind, and there's a nanny involved, and basically they run this restaurant together called Spirit of India. And so the father is without his wife because his wife passed away, and Ria is without her mother. And so this has been very difficult for both of them. Ria helps her dad out in the restaurant with her little brother Rowan and the grandmother known as Nanny. And so they're all running this restaurant together, and Ria does really well academically. She can code. And so when she takes part in like science projects and things like that, she always looks to do things from an analytical point of view and a logical point of view. And her teacher worries that she's not having enough fun because her dad's quite strict. Her dad's very shut down since her mother passed away. And so his whole life is basically dedicated to the restaurant, revolves around the restaurant, and he's hiding his pain really in the restaurant. He's avoiding dealing with the difficult emotions, and that is leaving him shut down really for his daughter. He doesn't really see that his daughter needs to expand her wings, do things for herself outside of the restaurant. He really needs her in the restaurant because it gets really busy. He doesn't really want to employ other staff. He wants to keep the family business in the family. But the nanny, she is amazing, and she's very modern for a nanny. And so she actually encourages Ria to pursue her dreams. So Ria has got a talent for mixing music. Throughout the film later on, you see her getting better at this, and she does DJing. And what happens is she's running wild. I don't mean running wild as in running off. She's running wild, like hurrying around in the restaurant, and she sees Max, who she knows from one of her classes in school, and Max's mother is there, and so they get into conversation in the restaurant, and she ends up finding him really cute. He's meant to have transferred over from the UK, from England, And so he's come there and they get into a chat, and she likes mixing music, but she hasn't really taken it seriously. And he is a DJ. That's what he does besides going to school. So they get talking, they get interested in working together, and the Festival of Colours is on, which is a Hindi festival, right? Holy festival. And I'm really interested in this because I'm interested in Indian culture. And the Festival of Colours is where they actually explain it more in the film. Everyone wears white and then they chuck powder at each other like coloured paints and stuff like this, which you do actually see in the movie much later on towards the end, which is a fabulous thing. And what happens is the person who is meant to be DJing at this Festival of Colours, they've let them down or they can't get a hold of this person. And so Ria recommends Max because she fancies him and she thinks that he'll be good because she's trying to be, supportive of him because she fancies him, and she reads a little bit online about him. She doesn't really know that much, and so she gets him to DJ for her friend, but he doesn't really understand how to produce that great of music. What the Festival of Colours needs that standard. And so she helps him throughout a lot of the movie, and you see him starting to hold her hand. He never says they're in a couple, mind you. And you see him take her hand and hold her hand, spend loads of time together. He seems to be a really nice guy. And then things take a turn for the worse. So she needs to go to the Festival of Colours to be with him and help him with the DJing of the song that they've put together, but it was mostly her input. She came up with the name of the song. She gave him a lot of the beats. His song and music that he was going to play there wasn't good enough. So she helped him get good enough. And so a lot of this song belonged to her. And when it was a Festival of Colours, her dad's like, "I need you in the restaurant, Ria, working." I have to say as well, earlier on in the movie, Nanny, on a Sunday evening, she does Bollywood dancing, and they just play this music in the restaurant, The Spirit of India, and she just all of a sudden breaks into this dance all around the tables in the aisles, and I found that amazing. I thought it was really funny, really good. I really enjoyed it because I like, seeing Indian movies and Indian families and culture, and even though I'm very different to a lot of their culture, I still like the feeling of being around Indian people. I feel like part of my soul's Indian spiritually. And so I just found that really beautiful. I thought it was really, really nice. I felt so happy to be watching this movie. Centered around an Indian family, and the nanny was very modern. She was like doing the dancing. She was saying to her son that he should move on with his life, not just be tied down to the restaurant. He should even look to get, to get into a relationship possibly with another woman other than her daughter that's dead and been dead for X amount of years. And she thinks that her daughter wouldn't want him suffering and just being on his own and just all his life is a restaurant. She wants him to be happy. And so I really like this portrayal of the nanny, the grandmother in is a British word for that. I really like this portrayal because often in films you see kind of some jealousy between generations, and you kind of see like, oh, you know, why are you doing that? Because you're betraying my daughter who's dead and stuff like that. But this was totally different angle, and I loved that. I loved the fact that the nanny was saying you should go out, you should enjoy yourself, you should have fun and laughter, and if someone comes along that you like, that's fine, it's good. And one of Ria's teachers is worried about Ria, and so she says to her dad on parents' evening, which Ria didn't attend, that the project she gave the students was supposed to be fun, and she's worried Ria's not having enough fun. Anyway, they have a conversation, Ria's dad and her, and she offers him some donuts. He has a donut, and then she ends up inviting herself on a date round to his restaurant. So basically, she likes him, and he ends up accepting the date. And then he realizes, oh, he says to Nanny, like, I think I accidentally asked the teacher out on a date, Ria's teacher, and she's like, "How did you accidentally do that?" Anyway, I said that Ria was helping Max for the Festival of Colours. The particular night of Festival of Colours, she was supposed to be with Max, like on the stage helping him DJ and stuff, or going with him at least. She has to work because they have this baby shower going on. I think it's a baby shower. It's either a bridal shower or a baby shower. I think it's a baby shower. Anyway, it's some special occasion, very big ceremony, and she's meant to be off. And he's like, "No, work tonight and supervise." So she has to stay and she does all this work, and then she talks her little brother into covering for her, and she goes with the nanny. And does she go with the nanny? Oh, sorry, she sneaks out. Sorry, the nanny stays behind with this time in the restaurant, but she sneaks out and gets her brother to cover for her. She goes to the Festival of Colours. She's there cheering Max on. She sees him on the stage. And then at the end of the night, when Max finishes, the crowd's cheering. He says, "Oh, thank you so much," to his fans. And he says thank you to the girl who put him on stage, which is not Ria, it's Ria's friend. And she is absolutely heartbroken because Max didn't care about her. All he cared about was using her so that he could get better songs, so that he could have all the fame and fortune, if you like, and all the fans going wild and crazy after him. He's an egotistical git, and you think he's really nice up until this point, and you realize he's a selfish beep. So that was a twist I wasn't actually expecting. I felt it's interesting that it was a love situation where it was an Indian girl with a British guy. Well, he's not, he's from Australia in real life, but he's meant to be from the UK, England in the movie. And I don't know if he's actually British originally or part British or what, but he's from Australia in the actual real life, but he's meant to come from England in the movie. And so you think he's a really nice guy and they're getting on so well and things are going to develop. And instead, they end up being rivals. So he took all the credit for the song. And she went up to him and said, "How could you do that?" And he's like, "Oh, he basically puts her down, belittles her, saying, 'Oh, you said you weren't good at mixing,' like to put her in her place and make her feel small and invalidate her." And then her three friends, including the one that put the Max on stage, they overhear the conversation, then they know Max is not a good guy. The father finds out that she's been out because she went to the Festival of Colours. She came back with powder. He's like, "Where have you been? Like, the restaurant was so busy and you just left and this is not on." So he grounds her for 2 months. And the nanny comes in and she's like, "What happened?" And she explains that Max basically made a fool of her, and she's worried that she'll never be able to create beats and music again because thinks she gave Max her best ideas. And the nanny says, "You've always got music in you." Her daughter, which is Ria's mother, was exactly the same. And so she gives Ria this box with old cassette tapes in from her mum and sheets of music to inspire Ria that she can fulfill her dreams. And she was born for this. She's actually got hidden talents, DJ talents, and that's where her skills and talents are, and she should follow her dreams like that. And so towards the very end of the movie, there's a DJ battle and Max enters and Ria goes up against Max. So they're rivals. And they play this music and there's a panel of judges, but Max plays a song that Ria originally helped him to write, got the title for, basically mixed it for him. So she's up against her own creation that she created with Max. But she comes up with this amazing, amazing DJing sounds. She mixes music together. She mixes sounds from her culture and her country. She has stuff showing in the background. She has a tape cassette from her mother that she incorporates on there. and you can hear like the sound of water dropping, different noises like cooking in the restaurant she puts in there in the background. She mixes all these different sounds together from her culture and from her family history, if you like. And it was just incredible to see that, you know? It was so beautiful. And she was dressed all in this sparkly, glittery clothing. And the nanny came with her there because the her dad was saying, "You got to work because we've got these people coming." This is after the Festival of Colours. This is another night. He's basically taking the mick out of his own daughter because he's expecting his daughter to do everything in the restaurant and not have a life of her own. And so she leaves with the nanny to go to this DJing battle. And so the father wants them back, the nanny and her back, and he didn't want her to go in the first place because it's like, "I need you here," but the nanny's like, "No, you said we got the day off, that's it." So they purposely go off together. Nanny supports Ria, and in the final DJ battle sequence between Max and her, who are the finalists in the battle, it's incredible. Her outfit, all the sounds, like I say, the sizzling of the food in the restaurant, the water drops, her mother's voice, cultural things, all this type of thing is so beautiful. She's wearing a lovely sparkling costume. I really loved this movie. It has got no sex in it. And I thought it's kind of really good twist that she is up against a guy in the movie, someone she actually cared about a lot, someone she had feelings for, because I was always worried he was going to try and talk her out of DJing by apologizing, and he was going to like say sorry and not really mean it in order to undermine her again so that she loses because she has feelings for him. But the film was amazing because it showed her really strong character, female character, in the fact that she didn't go back to him. And when when he saw he was up against her and he said something backstage to her, she's like, "I don't care. I'm not interested." And carried on. And it was amazing. I loved her strength of character. I love the fact they showed her vulnerable side, her emotional side, then they showed her strong side, that she's not going to take rubbish from a guy. She may be nervous, she may like be worried and stressed, but at the end of the day, she still pulls through, comes out on top, and everyone's cheering for her. And the nanny and her and the father finds out from her brother because he's got her on social media playing a video from the battle that she's actually at the battle and she's DJing, and he didn't even know this. He knew that she was doing some DJing stuff because when she was grounded for 2 months by him, her 3 friends came over and said, "Well, you said she can't leave the house for, like, 2 months, but you didn't say we can't come to her." So they brought all this DJing equipment to practice on, and then he didn't realize she was going to the battle, and then when he saw her at the battle, he absolutely loved her music, her mixers, what she was doing. Her teacher was there again, so they were getting a bit friendly, and at the very end of the film, she then does these mixers, DJing mixers at the restaurant, and her little brother gets to have a dish on the restaurant menu that he's always been after getting on there, but no one would listen to him. So it's like Ria's got her dream now. She can still be at the family restaurant, do what she wants to do, and her little brother has got his dream of having something on the menu that he really wants, and that's selling really well, and lots of people are having it. No sex in this movie, not even a kiss, not that much romance, tiny little bit spark between the dad and the teacher, but no holding hands, none of that. So if you're asexual who's sex repulsed and you don't experience any romantic attraction, you're into romance, you probably would like this film, especially because Max and Ria end up being rivals and Ria's really not interested in him anymore because she'd rather win her dreams than get the guy back. I thought it was a brilliant ending. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this movie review. I thought it was an incredible movie. Do give Spin a watch. Give it a spin and just type in the Disney Plus channel Spin. Fantastic movie. That's what I watched it on. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Take care, and I'll see you soon. And post your comments below if you've seen the movie. I'd love to know what you think.